What's up, y'all? It's Ty in this video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the stories of the week cards coming tomorrow in college football Ultimate Team. Now, we did only get 3 cards leaked. Obviously, stories of the week, you get a lot more than just 3 cards, but that's what we're going to be taking a look at. Is the 3 cards coming tomorrow? Think about, are any of them must-haves for your squad? Are they the best at their specific positions? Stuff like that. Now, look, stories of the week, they're fun cards. You get cards that currently are guys that currently are in college, and I do like that part of it. I just wish we got, still to this day, more absolute legends in college football because, again, like a Mitchell Evans, and I'm just going to use him as an example here. He's fine. I got no issues with Mitchell Evans at all, and I'm not trying to sit here and hate on anybody because that's, and I don't like doing that. But like last year he had 29 receptions for 422 yards. And again, I'm not hating on him, but is that like deserving of an 87 overall when we haven't gotten some legend tight ends? I don't know. That's just kind of my personal opinion on things. But let's take a look at these 3 cards, and then we'll talk about maybe some budget options and maybe some of the prices of some of the other conference stories cards coming tomorrow. DJ Wesolak up first, 86 speed, 85 acceleration, 88 strength, 87 tackling, 87 block shed, 89 power move. I say it like this. I think he's going to be one of the best pass rushers in the entire game. Now, the big question today is he as good as Abdul Carter? Is he as good as Colin Oliver? To be honest with you guys, he is absolutely on that level. Now, the problem with that right now is the fact that, Oliver is 180,000 coins. Abdul Carter's 190 at the time of recording this video. DJ Wesolak is definitely going to be more expensive than those 2 cards. So that's the one other side of this thing that is important to note is he is an LTD. And when you are comparing him to some of those other guys, you got to know and realize DJ probably is going to be a little more expensive. Whether it's right or wrong, I mean, that is just the truth behind it. He is going to be more expensive. Come tomorrow in college Ultimate Team, then Oliver, and then Abdul Carter. But at the end of the day, is still going to be a really solid option for you guys, especially if you are an Oregon State fan. Next up here, we do see a Darius Alexander defensive tackle. Now, we've got one really good defensive tackle right now in college football Ultimate Team, and then after that it gets a little bit dicey. So when you look at the defensive tackle position, we got an absolute stud last week. I think it was Jalen Carter, 80 overall, I do believe. Maybe he was an 87 overall. He was an 87 overall last week, and I don't want to compare Darius Alexander to Carter because it's just not fair. Like, Carter is just that next level of good. But we also saw Joe Green at the defensive tackle position during the Legends drop, and we also do have Christian Wilkins as well. So Jalen Carter obviously is just an absolute stud. Joe Green's okay, and then Wilkins okay as well. With Darius Alexander, you're looking at a run stopper, 75 speed, 85 acceleration, 89 strength, 88 tackling, 87 block shed, 86 finesse move. So when it says run stopper, that is exactly what he is going to be in college football Ultimate Team. When you look at his stats, guys, most D tackles don't have that 87 block shed. That is absolutely ridiculous. With that, Darius Alexander is also going to be able to get after the quarterback with the 87 finesse move. The one part about him is that 75 speed. That's not nearly as good as anybody else really at that defensive tackle position. To be honest, Darius Alexander should be around the same price as Christian Wilkins, if I had to guess, just because neither of them are super fast. Obviously, Darius Alexander is going to be better at, block shedding, getting after the quarterback. Possibly Christian Wilkins is that little bit faster. It's definitely a fun card to, bring to the table tomorrow in college football Ultimate Team. Is he a card I'm, looking at adding to my squad? Probably not. Then we see Mitchell Evans at the tight end position, and he's an 87 overall tight end. Now, just to compare some things, Colston Loveland is an 86 overall. Mark Andrews is an 86 overall. With Loveland, obviously he's faster. With Jason Morrow, obviously he's faster. And that is something that I do want to talk about is speed kills right now in college football Ultimate Team. And Mitchell Evans isn't super fast. He is an 87 overall, but he does only have that 83 speed. The 76 run block is better than, I would say most tight ends have right now. Like Loveland's run blocking is a 73. I know Jason Morrow doesn't have a good run block. And even when you look at Mark Andrews, he's got 83 speed with a 72 run block. And so that's what I would really describe Mitchell Evans as, is he's just a better Mark Andrews. And so if you do like Mark Andrews, if Mark Andrews has led you guys to a lot of success, then obviously, you know what, maybe Mitchell Evans is the guy for you. For me personally, I'll just continue running Jason Morrow and be just fine. Mitchell Evans is 6'5", obviously decent height there. And I don't want to sit here and say speed's the only thing. Like, he catches the ball really well, really good route runner as well. So it's not like, well, Ty, you know, if he doesn't have any speed, is he worthless? No, but it's just how good is he compared to some of those other top guys. So in this, you know, these three, I think DJ obviously by far is the best. None of these cards to me are like must have. Depending on Darius Alexander's price, he might be a guy that I do look to add to my squad. Again, at 87 overall, run stopper, which a lot of you, I'm kind of surprised to this day at how many people run the football. Like, it is absolutely crazy, and Darius Alexander is going to help you guys put an end to that. But to me, I'm maybe more looking at some of the cards like Kevin Winston Jr.'s price tomorrow, who I think is better than nearly anybody else in this drop. Same thing with Kyle Thornton if you struggle, you know, defending the pass. Same thing with, you know, a lot of these other guys that we already have in that conference story set. That's maybe what I'm more going to look at coming tomorrow because, again, none of these guys really catch my eye too much. I think they're all okay at their specific positions, but when you compare them to some of the other cards that we have in the game, that is where it gets really, really tough for me to really sit up here in front of you guys and act like these cards are next level good. Again, DJ is an absolute stud, and if we didn't have Carter and Oliver, I'd be hyping this card up to the moon. But when I'm looking at the rest of these cards, like, I don't even think Mitchell Evans is better than Jason Morrow. And so it's tough for me to be like, yeah, you know what, I really like this card. And, you know, if you want a complete tight end to pick him up, I don't think so. Like, I think Loveland's better than him. I think Amaro is better than him. Obviously, Kyle Pitts is way better than him. And even Darius Alexander. He's just another average defensive tackle for me. Now, maybe I'm being too harsh on these cards. You guys can let me know that down below in the comments. If I am being too harsh, again, I apologize. But for me, I'm looking for like an exciting drop. And I hate to say this, but when I see these three cards, I don't get excitement. Now, obviously, there's no quarterbacks, there's no running backs, there's no wide receivers. So maybe that's part of the reasoning here that I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, it's fine, but there's nothing like game breaking here. It's just not an exciting drop come tomorrow, but I do think a lot of these guys could possibly help your squad out. And most importantly, guys, the story of the week cards are going to go down in price. That, I think, is the more important thing to look at and talk about with this conference stories is even if you don't love any of these exact cards, the entire conference stories prices should go down, which again is what I'm more excited about than anything else. How I'd rank these three cards, obviously I'd go DJ 1, I'd probably go Darius 2 and Mitchell Evans 3. Again, defensive tackles aren't necessarily the most exciting cards, but that's probably how I'd rank them. That's gonna wrap it up for my video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on these three cards as well as the stories of the week cards coming tomorrow. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.